Flights are being canceled. Warships headed to Iran. Are we on the brink of war, and what does this mean for crypto? My name is Donnie Joseph, and welcome back to another video where we will talk about crypto-related items. Listen, to me, it's just another headline. I'm not saying that nothing's going to happen. I do believe at some point something's going to happen big, whether that's today, tomorrow, next week, next year, I really don't know. Nor do I care. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in this world is that you can't control things that are out of your control. The only thing that you can control is how you choose to look at situations. Today I was looking at my bookshelf and I saw this book. It's called A Man's Search for Meaning, written by Viktor Frankl. And if you've never read the book, Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor. He was a psychiatrist that made it through one of the most difficult and challenging times in world history. And the book, he shares his perspective on how the mindset of people that survive versus the ones that didn't. But the one takeaway that I got from the book, the biggest takeaway that I received, and it's probably one of the biggest things that I've utilized in my life since understanding it, was that despite the circumstances that you're faced with, the only thing in life that you have control over is how you choose to think. You can't control what's going to happen. They could take your family from you, like Viktor Frankl. They could take your clothes. They could take your freedom. They could take your food. They could take it all away. But they can't take away your outlook. That's up to you. Now, barring somebody that has a mental disability, that might be an exception, but in life, that is the one and only thing that you have control over. You can't control whether you're going to wake up tomorrow. You can't control whether you're going to get fired, lose your job, whether the economy crashes, whether the market crashes, whether the market goes up or down. You can't control any of it. You can only control how you choose to think. And so when I read these headlines, I actually feel bad. I feel bad because most people, not you, of course, but most people, they're so emotionally swayed by what they read and what they see. They have no time alone to even develop their mental outlook. They don't spend enough downtime even trying to understand, like, okay, what does that mean for me? And what should I choose to think? And they're just reacting to life. Now, there's a difference between reacting and responding. I like to respond. I used to react. I used to be very reactionary. I was very emotionally reactionary to things, to outside circumstances, until I started understanding that your emotions are like a giant elephant. And when that elephant gets running, it's very hard to stop. And as the rider of the elephant, it's your job to control the elephant. That's not original thought. I read that in a book. Gosh, what was it? It Takes What It Takes. Very great book. Highly recommend. But the point of this video isn't the headline that you're reading. It's not the clickbait, but because it doesn't matter. Whether it's that headline, whether it's another one, or whether it's true, whether we do go to war, whether we do bomb Iran, whether it doesn't matter. What matters is you. And are you going to allow these external circumstances to shake you and break you? You know, in 2020, I had moved my family. Well, in 2018, late 2018, I moved my family to South Dakota. I stayed back in California. I had a barbershop there, and we had this dream of opening a barber college. And for about a good part of a year and a half, I would fly back and forth from California to South Dakota, and I'd see my family maybe once a month, once every 2 months, and I'd cry like a baby all the way back to the airport every single time. And finally, in February of 2020, we made the decision that that was the time to launch the barber college, and we were going to open the doors March 10th, 2020. We opened the doors. We're all excited. We have our first class. It was the first school in South Dakota in 40 years. I signed up, I think, 7 students. We're celebrating hard. And then the news hit. There's this virus that's taking everybody out, and the world started panicking, and things started closing down. And for a small moment in time, I panicked as well. I thought, man, I just risked it all to open this business, and now things are shutting down. They're forcing us to close our barbershop in California, which I was relying on for the income to supplement while I got this business going. In South Dakota, I moved my family out here. I took the biggest risk of my life. And now something that's outside of my control is gonna ruin everything. And I entertained that thought for maybe 5 minutes a day, maybe at most. I don't remember. It wasn't very long. And I said, you know what? All I can do is all I can do. All I can do is all I can do. Can't do anything else. And so I called one of my buddies who was an entrepreneur back in California, and he had a business that was fairly new as well. And I said, man, you know what? Everybody's freaking out, man. We need to lock in. We need to get in the gym. We need to focus on the business. We need to double down and go hard. And that's what we did. There were many days where I was fasting, and I would break my fast with the CBD because it was so stressful. But I built a gym in the back of the school, and I worked out, and I would do heavy deadlifts and squats and do the things that I needed to do anytime I was challenged with uncertainty. But I say all that to say that life, you can't control. The only thing you can do is control how you choose to think. That is it. Now, I'm not saying that life's not going to throw you some hard curveballs, things that are going to hurt. You may invest your money today because you started watching these videos and you're all excited about investing in crypto, and the market absolutely tanks tomorrow. We don't know. That could happen. But how are you going to respond to it? And that's why I say, before you jump into this, know what you're getting into in terms of the projects. Listen, I'm huge on XRP. I believe in that thing so deep in my soul. It doesn't matter what happens, you're not going to shake me. I don't care. If the market crashes tomorrow, I will celebrate because I will go and buy more. If it goes up, I'll celebrate and I'll take a little bit off the table. You're not going to shake me. And I think that's why retail in this space is consistently getting wrecked. Number one, they're getting into it for the wrong reasons. They're hopping in and they're saying, man, how can I make this money and how can I make it fast? And life does not work that way. You think a farmer can go out and plant a seed and start dancing around the seed and expect to pick the oranges off the tree? No. He has to tend to it. He has to tend to the soil. He has to tend to the crop. He has to understand that he may not harvest for a whole other season. And who knows what the storm might bring during the winter. There may be a storm that comes and crushes his whole crop. But he's probably not shaken. And that's what you have to understand, that, listen, Things are going to come up. The market's going to crash. There will be a time when things are not looking great. But right now is the time to start developing that mental toughness so that when those things do transpire, you're prepared. That's why you should be waking up daily and doing hard things, doing the things that you don't want to do. When I go train jujitsu, there's many times I go there and I see somebody that I do not want to train with. I'm afraid. I'm like, man, that dude is a monster and I'm going to get smashed. If that dude gets on top of me and is able to put pressure on me and I can't breathe or choke me out or whatever that is, man, I want no part of that guy. So you know what I do? I walk right up to him and say, hey, man, do you want to roll? And they usually reply, absolutely. I turn around, tie my belt, put my mouth guard in and shake my head and go, man, why do I do this? But I do it because I want to get comfortable in uncomfortable spots. I'm finding every which way to do it. Right now, I'm a little bit under the weather. I'll be honest. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. Yesterday, it was -8. I was not feeling good. And that sick part of my brain kicked in and said, it's -8 outside. You're not feeling good. Perfect time to go for a walk. And I was like, man, I don't want to do it. I'm arguing with myself. I don't want to do it. You know what I did? Put on my coat, grabbed a beanie, grabbed a thick pair of gloves, and I went for a walk, 1 mile. It sucked. During the walk, I did 2 laps around the park and I said, man, I'll just quit. 2 laps is enough. Nope. Do another one. And then another one. And then you could go back. And I got back and I felt horrible. Physically. Mentally, man, felt great. Accomplished something that I didn't want to do. Anyways, sharing that with you because at some point you will face something difficult if you are going to get into crypto. It does have volatility. And I think it's the people that can understand the mental part of it and the emotional part of it. These are the ones that are not going to get wrecked. There's a reason there's no retail out in crypto right now, because retail, the average person, that's what they are, average, with average thinking and average habits and an average way of life. And so they're going to have to accept what comes with that. Listen, you can't expect to want the things that most don't have if you're not willing to go through what most aren't willing to go through. As simple as that. I know what I want out of this, and so I'm willing to do what most people aren't. I share that with you not to preach or anything, but just to offer insight in case you are one of those people that gets shaken up a little bit. It's natural. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. I'm not saying that I don't experience feelings or moments of weakness or questioning or doubt or any of that. I'm human. I feel those things too. But I don't dwell in it and I don't entertain it very long. I may experience it and I say, you know what? Okay, now what's the solution? How do I move forward? What's my next move? How can I benefit from this? How can I learn from it? Where's the positives? And again, before you start investing into crypto projects, you have to understand why you're getting into them. All of my investments that I'm making now are long-term projects. I'm not going to get shaken when something takes place between short intervals of time. I chose 3 to 6 year projects. When I invest the money, I'm looking at a 3 to 6 year timeline before it develops into what I believe it's going to do. Anything between then goes up, great, I'm selling. Goes down, great, I'm buying. Anyhow, I share that with you. I hope it helps. If it If you relate, leave a comment. If you disagree, leave a comment. Either way, subscribe, hit the like button, share it with somebody that you think would appreciate the video. And until next time, I hope you're well. We'll talk to you soon.